Ever since I had the chance to try the Samsung Fold 5 a few months ago, I have been intrigued by the whole foldable smartphone concept. And while the idea for Samsung's variant was to extend the screen real estate at your disposal as much as possible, there's also another way to do it. Reduce the dimensions of your smartphone as much as possible without taking away the screen real estate you are accustomed to with modern smartphones. The OPPO Find N3 Flip is one such foldable, and while it can almost be mistaken for a normal smartphone in its unfolded state, its unique party trick of folding right in the middle to a palm-sized, extremely pocketable personal assistant never gets old. So let us see if the OPPO is a good smartphone beyond its good looks and foldable nature right after the intro. The glossy cream-white smartphone has a snappy MediaTek Dimensity 9200 beating at its heart, alongside 12 gigs of LPDDR5X RAM and 256 gigs of storage in our case. You can double that if you so desire, and OPPO also offers 2 additional color variants. The main 6.8-inch OLED screen refreshes between 1 and 120 Hz, and for notifications, or if you want to interact with your phone in its folded state, you get an additional 3.3-inch Corning Gorilla Glass Victus covered external screen. The main screen is very bright for this class of devices, reaching almost 1000 nits, while the smaller outer variant still delivers a very respectable 720 nits. With its polished edges, glossy outer shell and general appearance, the Find N3 is clearly positioned as a lifestyle device, and it certainly delivers in this regard. This is a good looking phone and the build quality can easily keep up. All the hardware buttons feel great, it's heavy in a way that makes it feel well made without being too cumbersome to hold or weigh you down in your pockets, and the folding mechanism feels really good. Of course, it is hard for us to test how well it can withstand the test of time after using it for a couple of years, but during our review we never had any problem with the hinges. Before we get any further, there are a few things you should be aware of on the software side of things. First, the OPPO Find is not directly available for purchase in Europe because of patent disputes with Nokia. The good news is that this situation was resolved before MWC a few weeks ago, so chances are we will see the next generation of OPPO smartphones on sale in Europe again. But as a direct result, you have to be aware of a few quirks if you want to import this good looking fella. First, and especially in our case, the selection of system languages is very limited. For example, German was not an option, and even in English, many things, especially in some first-party apps, are only available in Mandarin. It is not a huge problem since almost all of the settings and general things are translated, so you should not run into any hiccups for the most part. In addition, the OPPO comes with a ton, and I really mean a ton of apps pre-installed on this one, most of which seem to be more catered to the Asian markets, which this one is actually sold in. But you can easily delete them all, so it's just a few additional housekeeping items when you set up the Flip. You also need to install the Google Play Store before you can access your very own favorite apps. But this is fairly easy to do since the whole framework is already in place and you just have to download the app from OPPO's own store. Again, it's not a big deal, you just have to be aware of the situation and live with some limitations when it comes to Android Auto, Pay and notifications. In general though, the software experience was flawless. The skin OPPO put over Android looks very clean and the external screen is very well implemented for camera controls, notifications and things like navigation, for example. It also works great in combination with the 3 cameras, for which it serves as a supersized viewfinder. This allows you to use the main shooter for almost everything and completely disregard the selfie camera altogether. Before we go over the camera in more detail, we also tested network connections, speaker quality and of course the accuracy of its positioning capabilities. So if you want to dive deeper into these topics, please make sure to follow the links below to our written reviews on the website. Circling back to the cameras, the Find N3 Flip is actually the first OPPO phone to utilize a triple camera setup, complete with some Hasselblad branding. You will get a 50 megapixel optically stabilized sensor for the main shooter, a 32 megapixel wide and a 48 megapixel zoom variant. The picture quality is impressive in well-lit scenarios, and I personally really like the very natural look overall. Especially portraits and selfies show incredible skin tones, and I would assume that this is the biggest part Hasselblad played in this regard. While the overall camera quality is not quite at flagship level for the whole system, I had a ton of fun with the main shooter and really liked what I got from it. Video quality is pretty alright too, and it's really only when the sun sets that the Flip is pushed to its limits in low light scenarios. On the performance side of things, the Find also offers no reason to complain, even though it does fall behind its Snapdragon equipped competition. That said, you will probably hardly push such a phone to its absolute limits, so you will still have a very good time with your new flippy companion. Apps load quickly, scrolling through the most demanding websites is incredibly smooth, and the overall user experience was pretty flawless during our time with this one. Again, if you are after all of our detailed benchmark results for both CPU, GPU and game tests, as well as more information about temperatures and stress test behavior, please head on over to our written review. The OPPO Flip phone is also doing really well in our realistic Wi-Fi web surfing test, in which it can easily beat its direct competitors when it comes to battery life. If you rely on the smaller outer screen a lot, an easy 2 days without charging the small phone should easily be possible. But it's already about time to wrap it up for today, folks. Putting aside all of the annoying things that come with this one being only available as an import, the OPPO Find N3 Flip is a great smartphone within the relatively new compact foldable form factor. It handles great whether you use it folded or as a traditional smartphone, the hinge has no usability downsides, and the build quality, performance and especially the phone's main shooter make it a great everyday companion. But please folks, let me know what you think. Sound off in the comments below. Please make sure to leave your like and sub on your way out. Thanks a ton for watching. My name is Alex and I cannot wait to see you all in the next one. Take care.